All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Blitz the Bookie podcast. I'm Charlie Winkle, joined as always by Anthony Roberts. Yes, we are both back. Yes, it got a little heated on the Blitz the Bookie set last week. A little hot, a little testy, but we're back. We're still homeboys. We're still compadres. We ain't mad, and we'll probably find something else to argue about this week.
No doubt.
Almost time for the big game. It is Super Bowl week. We're going to crown a champion this weekend, try to pick a winner, and try to find some prop bets.
Not a lot of bets left, Charlie.
No, but there's a million prop bets.
They'll let you bet about anything on this.
I'm not a huge prop better when it comes to the regular season, but I love them in the Super Bowl. So we'll get into our Super Bowl preview, make our picks for the big game. We will talk about some of our favorite Super Bowl moments over the years, and we'll also get into some college basketball. Unfortunately, Kentucky, the Cats, dropped 2 in a row. Would you say 4 or 5?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Sliding right now. We got guys hurt. We got guys banged up. Not looking good for the Cats right now. So we'll get into that. Before we do that, guys, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check us out. Don't forget, like, subscribe on all your favorite streaming platforms, and check us out on the Blitz the Bookie Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube pages. So, Anthony, football season's almost over. Kind of depressing.
It's real depressing, Charlie.
Kind of awesome at the same time.
No,
The Super Bowl's coming up.
Is.
I don't know about you. I've been busy these last week and a half. Haven't really got a chance to get wrapped up in the Super Bowl festivities yet. But sitting down here now, I'm ready. I'm feeling good about where my head's at here for this game. Feeling good about my pick. But I'm curious to see what you think about the game too. So how was your weekend, man?
Good, Charlie. Truly going through football withdrawal. We just had 2 NFL games. College football's been over for a couple weeks now. Not having football, like truly trying to find a way to still be happy. I know that sounds horrible, but we're kind of like, so, me and Charlie coach.
Degenerates.
We coach kids, and, our kids play all the sports. But I'm kind of in between things, kind of in between football, trying to get going with basketball. Big basketball fan. I'm a bigger football fan, there's no doubt. Derby's still a couple months away from me, so it's cold outside. It's nasty. This is kind of the down time for me. I'm ready to kind of get some spring fever going on. But we do have the Super Bowl, and that's exciting. And got a lot of Derby preps coming up for those of you who are horse racing fans, and a lot of things to look forward to that'll happen here over the next month or so. So before we know it, it'll be warm, and things will be heading in the right direction on that.
Speaking of the Derby preps, I've had a couple people tell me that they're looking forward to us talking about some of that. So, guys, if you are interested in the horse racing side, let us know. Reach out, message us on one of the social medias, and let us know what you think, because I was kind of up in the air about that conversation, having some segments about horse racing, but I have had some people saying that they would like to hear it. So let us know what you think about that.
Yeah, no doubt. For a lot of people, gambling's brand new to them. They've gambled some in the past, but with gambling being legalized, gambling's brand new. Well, let me tell you, for those that maybe have never been, or for those that maybe have just been a little bit but never followed it, horse racing's underrated, guys. It's just like football. They got players, they got stars, the hot horses, the hot trainers. There's a whole world. You just got to dig into it a little bit and learn the players, learn the horses at that point, learn the jockeys. But it can be fun, especially if you go this track and you follow them. There's a lot of analyzing going on. Now, it's fun if you just go and pick horses, but it's really fun if you know what horse is what and you understand what's going on a little bit deeper than most. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Sounds like my Breeders' Cup horse won again, you said.
He did.
Was that this past weekend?
Yep. Out in California, Citizen Bull. Bob Baffert. He's got some live Derby horses. This would be his first year back in the Derby.
I won some good money on him on Breeders' Cup, and I know that Breeders' Cup winner never wins the Derby, but when you win some money on a horse, especially a young horse like that, that's my horse.
That's how I got on Fierceness last year at 17-1. he won it. I felt like I owed it to him. He won me a nice little chunk. It wasn't just the 17-1. I had him in some exactas and doubles. I cashed good. There on out, I felt like I owed him, and he was a good horse too. So
Yeah, so I'm sticking with Citizen Bull for now. I'm not going to say that's definitely going to be my Derby horse, but for now, he is my leader. Did I hear you say maybe a week ago that is he the favorite?
actually, he is second or third choice, depending where you look. East Avenue is 15-1. He was actually the favorite in the Breeders' Cup and lost, but he was coming off the pace. It was speed favoring all day, so people are giving him that race, I guess. But the actual favorite is another Bob Baffert. It was a horse named after Bob Baffert's trusted assistant trainer. The horse's name is Barnes. He's 6-1. So that's your second favorite, because your favorite right now, 4-1, is All Other. They give you like a list of all these horses, and because you're so far away from the Derby, there's a pick that says All Other 3-year-olds. You get every other 3-year-olds besides who's on the list, and it's like 4-1.
I'm ready for some Derby.
I'm
ready
too.
for some good weather.
Wish the tickets weren't so expensive. Looking at Derby tickets and Oaks tickets, we went to the Oaks last couple of years, Clubhouse. I'm hoping they go down. The Derby tickets are just getting a little crazy. So,
I talked to our buddy that we went with last year. He might have a line on some good ones.
okay.
He didn't tell you about that?
Yeah, he did. He did.
I said, take your shot, dude. Take your shot. The worst they could say is no.
That's right.
Take your shot.
That's right.
With who he was talking about,
Yeah.
he could end up with literally anything.
No doubt.
I mean, that the person that he's kind of involved with could literally give him a seat anywhere in Churchill Downs.
No, I could. So.
He could luck into
Yeah.
something really nice. I told him, you better take your shot, because all he can say is no. So, yeah, Bob Baffert's back. We'll get into the horse racing maybe in the next few weeks. But watch out, Baffert's back in the Derby.
He has got some live horses, too.
Yep,
Live
he's
horses.
back. All right, so where will we start, Anthony? We go right into this game. Let's talk some of these prop bets.
Okay.
All right, You
No.
want to go prop bets, or you want to go favorite
Let's
most memorable moments in the Super Bowl?
You want to start off most memorable moments? Let's touch on them.
So before we do that, what is the first Super Bowl that you ever remember watching as a kid?
Well, you brought the one up, and I will say that one.
That
Because
the one you first remember?
Well, it's because you said it, and so I
I'm saying,
remember.
do you ever remember sitting in front of a TV watching any other? Like,
I was a
that
49ers fan, and all those kind of blur together. I remember pulling for the 49ers, but at that point, I was just a Joe Montana guy. I wasn't deep into it.
So we're talking about 1989
Yeah.
49ers versus the Bengals.
I remember that game. Boomer. The Bengals had Boomer.
That's the first one that I can actually remember watching.
Me and Charlie, same age. We were, 7 years old at that point, Charlie?
Yep, 7 years old. But the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Super Bowl moments is Leon Lett.
Leon Lett.
Leon Lett getting chased down by Don Beebe.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yep, I do.
Everybody remembers that. You know what's crazy about that play is that it was late in the fourth quarter. I don't know exactly how much time was left. The score was like 52-17.
Who was that, the Cowboys and Bills?
Yep. Cowboys and Bills. And it was like a 40-point game late in the fourth quarter. Don Beebe did not have to do that. It was not going to affect the game one way or the other, but that is something you should show your kids right there.
Damn.
Not only that, if you watch the play, because I went back and watched it today, I just wanted to see it again. Don Beebe is running a route. He's like 10 to 15 yards downfield when that fumble happened. So not only did he catch him, but he was about 20 yards behind him and probably had to turn around and get going. I think it's just a cool play because, of course, it's a knucklehead play, but it just didn't matter. And the fact that Don Beebe didn't quit on that play, that's something to show your kids, man.
No doubt. You imagine the prop bets today, Leon Lett getting a defensive touchdown. The odds would be huge, and then he'd, be all the way there. And
Oh, my goodness.
That'd be a killer. That'd be a killer. So for me, Charlie, my two memories, I think Super Bowl, and I was a 49ers guy. So, the 49ers-Cowboy rivalry. But it ain't, for whatever reason, it's not the first thing that comes in my mind. The first thing that comes in my mind are really two things. It's the Buffalo Bills, for whatever reason. I'm not a Bills fan, but
Because they were at 4 straight.
that's right. In my childhood, and they got beat The first one I think was close. That was a missed field goal, but then
They got beat by the Giants first.
They should have won
The
that
Redskins second.
game. They got rolled.
That was Mark Ripken,
Ripken.
Cal Ripken. And then Dallas twice in a row.
Yep. But other thing about the Super Bowl that comes to my mind is the Bud Bowl. Remember the Bud Bowl?
Oh, the Bud Bowl was awesome.
It was.
Why did
it was
they
a
take
big
the
deal.
Bud Bowl away?
Dude, I'll come back with the Bud Bowl.
I'm glad you brought that up. You didn't talk about that before the show. When
I
we
just
were kinda
remember.
talking. The Bud Bowl was awesome.
Yes, the Bud Bowl was. It was a big deal. Remember
It was
talking
at
about it?
halftime, right?
Yeah.
They did it at halftime.
Yes.
It was a little game with the beer bottles.
Dude, it was serious. It was serious action.
It
dude.
was. That's awesome.
The Bud Bowl was awesome. It just was. And if you're Budweiser, why don't you bring that back? Like a retro thing?
They should definitely bring that back.
Yeah,
and it probably doesn't hold up because
Well,
it
you
was
know-
probably pretty stupid.
Well,
but as a kid, it was just, I don't know, it was cool.
Well, I feel like everybody now watches it for the commercials. Like all the women, even some men, they watch it for the commercials. But I feel like back then, you were watching it for the Bud Bowl.
I was definitely watching it for the Bud Bowl as a kid. I mean, the game, but like
we need to
at
go back and watch
halftime-
it. We need to go back and watch one.
At halftime, when I was a kid, I wasn't watching like who the performer. It was more of the Bud Bowl. I would like to go back and watch one.
I would.
We should go back and watch one.
Who, not to move in another direction, but I said commercials. Commercials are huge on Super Bowl. People spend all kinds of money. I've seen crazy numbers. It's this much 100,000 or this much million per second. I don't know the exact numbers. I know it's a lot. Is there any commercial that you remember out of all the commercials you've seen?
Bud.
Okay. I gotcha.
Zer.
I gotcha.
That one sticks out. All the Clydesdale. I guess those are two Budweiser. Both of the Budweiser. The ones I think about are more like from my childhood, not so much these newer ones because I don't know. I don't pay attention to the commercials as much. Usually, I'm watching the Super Bowl with at least a handful of people. Not always at like a big party, but usually I'm with a couple people and. You know what happens in commercial time? You just start talking, and I usually don't even watch the commercials. When I was a kid, I kind of paid attention to them. Now, not so much. But the ones that pop out to me are the Budweiser ones.
To me, for whatever reason, the old so in me, whatever it is, the Dodge commercial, the old Paul Harvey, God Made a Farmer. I actually got it pulled up right here. We'll listen to it real quick.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker.
I do not remember this.
You do not remember this?
No.
Oh, it's good. Well, a few seconds,
Said, I
not
need
long.
somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die.
It goes on for another minute and a half, and it just goes through that God made a farmer, and essentially it was selling the image of Dodge truck tied to the farmer and blue-collar workers, rural America. But Paul Harvey had said that it was a thing that Paul Harvey did. He was a radio guy way back in the day, and he did that skit on God Made a Farmer, and Dodge had done that and put it with their brand of Dodge trucks, and they put some farmers in the video. It was just a really moving commercial that's always stuck with me. It wasn't even that long ago. I would say maybe 10, 12, maybe 10 years ago at the most, 8 years ago at the most. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't
a good
remember
commercial.
that one.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, Scott, he's a farmer, so maybe go back and watch that, Scott. Tell me what you think about that. We're probably missing a ton of Super Bowl.
Oh,
there was a bunch
all
of good
kinds,
ones. Yeah,
all
there was a bunch
kinds.
of good ones. So back to the most memorable moments. The other ones that stick out to me, there's a few of them. John Elway and his
Okay.
jump.
I remember.
His jump there in I think it was either early fourth or late third quarter tie game. That was an iconic play.
Elway's good, man.
As long as his career was and as successful as he was, I think that play is kind of I don't want to say it's like the snapshot of his career, but it's probably one of the biggest highlights of his career. He worked a long time to win that Super Bowl in '98, and that was the game that he got it. He ended up winning two there, I think, back to back.
I feel like he really benefited when there became a salary cap. Because, the 49ers and Dallas didn't dominate no more because, before they just could buy all the players. And I felt like he was the first guy that I'm sure it felt great for him. feel like, okay, you can't buy your team no more. Here I am to win it. Elway was good.
Yeah,
Elway
oh,
was
yeah.
good. I always give Marino credit. Elway's right there with him. Elway's right there with
Elway
him.
was real good.
Yeah.
And then you got the Rams in Tennessee
Oh, yeah, where he came up
with
short.
Dyson coming up short there at the end. I think that was 2000, the year I graduated, so I remember that one.
Watch that play if you've never seen it. That plays.
Or maybe that was 99. 99 or 2000.
Yeah, he
right
threw
after that, Brady gets his first.
On that Dyson one, he threw a slant. He threw it about 4 yards short, but the idea was he's going to throw it. He was going to run in the end zone. The guy just made a good tackle. He come up just short. He reached out just short.
Steve McNair.
Last
R.I.P. Steve McNair.
You remember where McNair went to college?
Yeah, Alcorn State.
Yep.
I remember watching him play on probably ESPN.
Oh, I did too. Do you remember
'Cause
when they would always come in? Like they did one or two of his games, but back then ESPN would be, because you didn't have multiple stations, just kind of, they do that sometimes today, especially with him and Randy Moss, because a lot of people weren't seeing them. They would bring them in from the outside. You'd be watching a game and
they cut in.
Yeah, cut in.
He was fun to watch in
He
college,
was.
and then
He
he turned
was.
out to be a really good NFL quarterback. He had a good career. Kind of wish he would have got that one, but that was the beginning of the Rams' little
Was it his
run there.
Was it his wife or mistress that
Yeah,
killed him?
it was his mistress,
He-
young one too.
He walked away from the wrong one.
That was a sad, tragic story.
It is.
They got a documentary or something on Netflix that came out not too long ago, 6 months or a year ago, about that. I watched it. It sucks. It's not a good documentary, and it's sad.
Speaking of documentaries, I know I've said it, but I'll just say it again. I won't talk about it. Chiefsaholic on Amazon Prime. Check it out.
The other ones that really stick out to me, these two are big. The Giants beating the Patriots when the Patriots were undefeated,
yeah.
David Tyree, and the helmet catch. That was one of, if not the biggest catch in the history of the Super Bowl.
That's about
the
the-
helmet catch was unbelievable. That happened with like a minute left in the game. They were down 4. It was 3rd and 5 on the other side of the 50. And Eli had to scramble away to even get that throw up.
Almost got sacked twice.
Yeah, he
literally
did.
was going down.
I'll never forget that play.
No, me neither.
That one, and then the Edelman catch.
Yep.
Very similar. Wasn't a helmet catch, but just as crazy of a catch. That was when New England was down 28-3 at halftime to the Falcons and come back and won that game.
Falcons blew that game.
They did. That catch there was with 2.5 minutes left, and they were down 8 at that point. And, of course, they came back and won that game. So those two catches, along with was the Immaculate Reception, was that in the Super Bowl?
I'm not sure. I
No, it was in the playoffs, but I want to say that was not in the Super Bowl, but I could be wrong about that. But these two right here are two of maybe the two best, at least two of the top 3 or 4 catches in the history of the Super Bowl, maybe in the history of the NFL.
What about when Seattle had it 1st and goal from the 1, or was it 2nd and goal? It was
Yep.
not 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
Marshawn Lynch didn't get the ball.
No, he did. And I don't hate the play. And the story goes, he throws a quick slant, it bounces up, interception. New England was in bad spot. I think there was like 30 seconds to go, and if they scored that touchdown, they were going to need more than a field goal to beat them. So they were going to have to go down the field in like 35 seconds and get a touchdown.
Stupid.
I don't hate that he threw it, but roll out, do something, give them some options, throw it away.
Marshawn was a bad man right there.
Don't
dude.
throw it into the middle. But sometimes when they just commit to stopping that run, I don't know.
I bet you Pete Carroll would say he made the wrong decision.
Oh, no doubt.
And I've seen interviews with Marshawn Lynch talking about that, and really couldn't believe what was going on when that play was called. And he actually has talked about how a lot of the huddle looked like was like shocked when that play was called in the huddle.
If you're Russell Wilson, to me, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to tell myself 2 things. They were doing it thinking they would sell out. I would tell myself, if it ain't there, throw it into the ground. If it ain't wide open, if it ain't just a gimme, throw it into the ground.
Now, I will give Russell Wilson credit. I don't think it was a terrible – I think it was a
a deflection. It was a deflection.
I think it was a really good defensive play. The guy – who was that? Who was that that got the interception?
I'm not sure, but they didn't pop it out of the air. It hit somebody, and it popped up, and then they got it.
Did it get tipped?
I thought it-
I thought
not tipped, but it
like undercut the route at the last second.
They went to catch it. I think somebody got his hand in there and made it pop up, and then they got the interception.
It was a good defensive play. Well, here's what Marshawn's got to say about that.
It's clicked in my mind that if you just run
through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over again. They just not gonna want that.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a motherfucker face. Then you don't have to worry about them no more.
Run through a motherfucker face. That was the greatest interview answer I've ever heard. Just give the man the ball so he can run through a motherfucker face over and over and over and over again. I love
good. That
it.
is good
Marshawn
stuff.
is hilarious. I know I told you before the show, but you got a little time, go on YouTube and search up Marshawn Lynch playing video games with Conan O'Brien. It is hilarious. I'm going to go rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a long time. Hopefully it holds up, but I remember it being so damn funny. Marshawn's great in almost everything he does. And didn't you say something about Marshawn was happy about the Pete Carroll? They got Pete Carroll.
So he
'cause
came.
He's a Raiders fan.
Big Raiders fan. Marshawn grew up in L.A. Big Raiders fan. And when Pete Carroll got named the coach, he was in the back of the press room, and you heard this person like going crazy and nuts, and it was Marshawn back there hyping his coach up. So he got over it.
He seems like a pretty smart guy, man. I mean, he's
They tried it. It didn't work. I hate when people, you know how I feel about like fans and how they are with coaches sometimes. It's easy to say it's dumb afterwards. If it worked, it'd been genius. It probably wasn't smart, but guess what? Your coach had helped get you that far. We talk about all the time, just coaching, Charlie. We're in it together. You win as a team, you lose as a team. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but I truly believe that. I don't like that stuff where when somebody makes a wrong call, it's one thing if they're not a part of your team or they just come on, but if they've been with you all season, y'all been winning together, look, you're going to make calls, you're going to get some right, you're going to get some wrong.
So the Saints kicking the onside kick, that does stick out to me too. That's a pretty memorable moment there. The Saints starting the second half there with that onside kick. Sucks you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You got to declare.
Look,
stupid.
I
All the kicking rules, to be honest, we haven't talked about this all year, and we don't have to get in depth because it's kicking. I hate all the new kicking rules.
No,
stupid. The landing zone and I don't know what they're doing with all these kicking rules. It's
I don't
just
like
kinda weird.
I don't like the idea that you have to declare the onside kick. It takes a
That's
part of the
the
game
worst.
away. Takes a part of the game away.
And you got to be losing.
Yeah. Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's another stipulation. You have to be losing. You cannot do it if you're winning. You can't even declare it and do it. You cannot do it if you're winning the game. Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Don't like it. But the Saints onside kick, definitely up there on memorable moments for Super Bowls. Kansas City's first Super Bowl, Mahomes scoring the first touchdown. That sticks in my head because, Anthony, that was my first prop bet I ever made in the NFL.
Okay. All right.
First touchdown by Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and he got it. So that does stick out to me. So speaking of props, let's get into them.
One more.
Yeah,
that
what you got?
Just came to my mind.
What you got?
What was the Dolphins' name on Ace Ventura? Remember that? The Laces Out?
Ray Finkel?
Yeah, Ray Finkel. Laces Out.
Yep, Ray Finkel.
Laces Out. Ace Ventura was great. I loved it when he popped open her shirt at the end.
The laces were out.
Yeah. Laces Out.
All right, these prop bets. I looked a little bit today. You like any of them stick out to you? I know we talked about the Gatorade, so let me go ahead and get that out of the way. It looks like purple has been the Gatorade for the last 2 years when Kansas City has won.
Purple.
So that is your favorite at plus 225. Not a bad bet if you think it's coming a third time in a row. 225, that's not a bad bet. If anybody knows, anybody on the Chiefs or on their staff or something, let us know because I'm sure somebody can find this out. But I'm going to go with orange, Anthony.
Orange.
I'm going to go with because that is what Kansas City had the first time they won the Super Bowl. So I don't know why I'm changing it up. I don't know why they would change it up. They probably go with purple again. But I'll take 4-1 instead of plus 225, and I'll take orange. Your highest odds are blue and red at plus 650. So that's 6.5 to 1.
I'm
4
going
to
long
1 on orange.
I'm going long shot. I'm going to go red.
Anthony's going red at plus 650, and I'm going to take orange. We don't like favorites around here.
Not when you're picking the Gatorade color.
I hit the blue a couple years back.
Yeah, I
forgot when it was.
I forget what year it was, but I was talking to you. You said, man, I know the Gatorade color. I've heard it. And it was like you were spot on. I was like, dude, why didn't you bet more?
They've always put a limit on that because, like I said, you can literally find this out. I mean, you could.
No.
If you're, neighbors with Patrick Mahomes' dad, maybe he'll tell you.
No doubt.
I'm just saying there's ways to find this
I-
out. So
I
they
feel
will,
like if
that's why
I-
they put limits on
I
it.
feel like if I truly knew it, I feel like I could find a way to bet a decent amount of money. I bet it a bunch of different spots,
Oh,
different
we
accounts.
spread it out. Get all
Yeah.
your buddies to bet it. You could make it happen, but it'd be
a lot of legwork.
It'd be a lot of legwork. But if you knew for sure it was a winner, it might be worth it. So any of them stick out to you? Anything stick out that you were like, you know what, I am absolutely gonna bet this? Because I know you're not a big prop better. But do you see anything? I know we kind of looked a little bit.
Yeah, there's a couple that I like, that I really like, and there's going to be some that I talk about that I think's worth a chance, worth some money. For me, I like Barkley under 113 rushing yards. I like that bet. I
Or
think
is it just like a minus 110 or something? Minus
it's actually
115?
minus 120. I like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith over 71 and over 51. Very similar, minus 115. I do like Barkley over 13.5 receiving yards. I do think Kansas City will try to take his running game away. Kansas City's got pretty good run defense, so I think they'll at least keep him under the 113. But I do think they'll try to get him involved in the passing game, which is only 13.5. So them are some bets that I like. Patrick Mahomes, kind of like it under 1.5 touchdowns. That's plus $1.50. I don't love that bet, but I do like it. And under 251 passing, that's minus $1.20. So that's the ones that I think are my stronger bets. And I have my long shot bets, but I'll let you touch on some ones you like, and then we'll get into our long shot plays.
I like the first touchdowns of the game.
Right.
So I picked one from each team. I like Hurts at 6-1.
I did too. I like that bet as well.
And if I had to pick somebody on Kansas City, I'd probably go Kelsey at 10-1.
Kelsey at 10-1 is not a bad bet.
Yeah, I like that. Also, I might bet this. Hurts plus 550 to score 2 touchdowns.
I like it. Kansas City's got a good defense. Hurts don't like taking a lot of chances. He hasn't been running a lot, but he's had 2 weeks to rest. It's the Super Bowl. I could see Hurts really trying to use his legs. I really could.
Yeah, I haven't looked at a whole lot of the regular player props, but I will say off the ones that you just named, and actually was one that I was looking at earlier, I like Mahomes over 2 touchdowns.
Okay, all right.
Well, 2 or more.
Yeah.
2 or
yeah,
more.
got it.
I like Mahomes 2 or more.
And I don't love that under because I don't feel like they are a team that runs the ball in. A lot of it goes through their passing game. So
And Philly's got a good run defense too.
they
So
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't love that. That was probably one of the ones I didn't love that I said that was under. But I am going to go with under because it's a plus $1.50.
And what did you say on the 2 receivers for Philly? 77?
71 is 51. So
Both of those are low. I would bet over probably on both of those.
So my vision of this is they're going to try to take Barkley away. I think you got to try to do that to beat Philly,
I think A.J. Brown has a big day.
and I do too. And I think they're going to blitz. They always blitz, try to take the run game away. I think there's going to be some opportunities for some big pass plays. I really do. Maybe even get the tight end involved in it a little bit. But I'm going to kind of sell the running game for Barkley, and I'm going to kind of buy the passing game because I think them trying to take that running game away, blitzing a lot, I think it's going to open up some opportunities on some big pass plays.
So MVP, Mahomes, plus 105. He's the favorite. Way too low for me. Wouldn't bet it, even though, look, we know how this goes. It's usually a quarterback.
No,
so
it is.
Mahomes is 105. Actually, second favorite is Barkley at plus 240, and then Hurts is plus 375.
I like Hurts at 3. I got Hurts at plus 375. I don't mind that bet. I could see him running for some touchdowns, throwing for some touchdowns, really trying to do everything he can to help his team wins. I think it's a quarterback award, and I think they're going to try to take Barkley away. And I do think Chiefs got a good run defense. So if Barkley gets going, he'll probably get it. But I think Hurts got a shot to win that award. If the Eagles win, it's about a 50-50 game. So, yeah, I like that bet.
So here's my 2 long shot bets, and I kind of like both of these, even though, look, they're long shots.
That's right.
Both of them are 66-1. MVP, Chris Jones on the defensive side for Kansas City.
I like it. I got something similar.
And Kareem Hunt is also 66-1. I understand that both of these bets would pretty much come down to Mahomes not playing really, really good. For Hunt to win it, Mahomes would probably have to have 1 or less touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt would have to have 2 or more.
But it's about
a big day.
It's about the value. Like, look,
It is.
You don't make 66-1 bets thinking you're going to win. You just make those thinking that's a good price for that, and if I bet these bets enough, I'm going to come out. So the odds of you winning that in your mind might be 40-1, but you're getting 66-1 odds. So that's where the value is.
And it does go against what I just said, which is Philly's got a good run defense. But I just think that's pretty good value for a running back that's probably going to he gets the touches down on the goal line. He could easily end up with a couple touchdowns, breaks off a big one, maybe has over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns, and Mahomes has a fairly pedestrian day and only throws 1 touchdown. It's a possibility. Chris Jones, 66-1, almost the same thing. It's going to rely on Mahomes, probably not to have a huge day, probably need a defensive game, and we need Kansas City on the defensive side to bottle up Philly's run game and make them rely on Jalen Hurts. And guess who stops the tush push as good as anybody? We saw it last week.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Buffalo could not be successful with that.
I agree.
So this is your matchup for your tush push right here. Absolutely the best team to do it, and maybe the best team to defend it.
Yeah.
So it would take something crazy. Defensive game, low-scoring game, Mahomes, 1 touchdown, Chris Jones, couple sacks, maybe a fumble recovery.
I think
crazy.
I think it's going to be a defense.
He's the best player on the defense.
Yeah. So my long shots are this, very similar to yours. Mine's Jalen Carter, the same guy Chris Jones is. Defensive tackle, the big boy in the middle. I think he came from Georgia. He's 75-1.
Yeah, isn't he the one that got in trouble like right before the draft?
I think
car
so, yeah.
accident or speeding or maybe
he's
DUI or something.
He
did something.
He's a monster. He's the Chris Jones for the Chiefs. He's that for Philly. And same thinking, Charlie. I know he's not a good bet. If you're looking for something, it's like a
What's his odds?
75-1. And my thinking is this. I think it's going to be a defensive game. I think offensive stuff's going to be at a premium. If that guy can get a fumble recovery for a touchdown, maybe a batted ball, pick 6, some big sacks, just a handful of things that be a defensive game at 75-1, I think he's worth a few dollars.
I don't even think you need a touchdown for one of them guys.
No.
2 or 3 sacks, which is huge.
In a defensive game.
And maybe force a fumble.
And maybe being talked about a fumble. Maybe being a problem all day. And them guys are problems.
They are. They're the 2 best defenders, and I don't mind either one of them.
And Cooper DeJean, that's that rookie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 200-1. 200-1. So my son likes him, so I'm going to ride with him 200-1.
Yeah, those are some long shots. I would say it's going to be hard for Mahomes not to get it if they win. He's got it. Has he got it all 3 times they've won the Super Bowl? I'm sure he has. I know he's got it the last 2. Probably going to get it.
I think if it's close, he gets it. But if it's just like a defensive game and Kansas City squeaks it out and Chris Jones has been the talk of all day, he's got to get it.
Man, I almost tend to think, and maybe I'm completely off base with this, but I tend to think, man, the guy's got 3. They going to try to give it to somebody else? If he doesn't have like a monster day, will they give it to somebody else? Maybe Kelsey at 15-1 is a decent bet.
With Taylor on the side?
Kelsey gets 2 touchdowns and 120 or 130 yards.
Do you think?
And Mahomes only has 2 touchdowns and they win? Maybe they give it to Kelsey. 15-1 might be a good bet right there. I'm going to circle that one too.
Here's the real question. Does Taylor Swift get on the field on the podium?
Oh, that's 100%. She was on it last year. She was right next to Andy Reid.
Okay. I didn't know that.
8-1. 8-1 that Kelsey proposes after the game.
Is that what the odds are?
I'm dead serious.
Is that the odds? Or are you making that up?
No, that's what I heard. 8-1.
Wow.
Now, I haven't seen it anywhere, but I did hear that they have odds on that.
So really, it's 4
to me, that's way
really
low.
It's 4-1 because it's about 50-50 game. He don't propose if he loses, right? So it's really about 4-1.
I think that's crazy. But if you want it, 8-1, you just have to find out where to bet it. I don't know where you can bet it, but
you think she breaks up with him if he loses?
She'll definitely be on that stage, though. There's no question about that.
NFL probably wants her on the stage.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. They can get them teeny boppers, baby. So that's all I really got on the props. I'm going to look into it a little bit more in the days coming up here. You'll see where I'm going with my pick, but I do kind of like that Hurts plus 550. And Those first touchdowns of the game, I'm picking one on each team. I got to. Hurts and Kelsey probably be my 2 picks on the first touchdowns of the game.
I'm getting Hurts at 625, Charlie, through my little website.
First touchdown?
Yeah, Caesar. So.
DraftKings showing 6-1. So
okay, that's close. That's close. That's close.
Those are 2 that I'll be betting, the first touchdowns of the game. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet the 2 touchdowns by Hurts, but I will be doing the first touchdown of the game. And Chris Jones and Kareem Hunt, I think I'm betting them 66-1. I like that
Why
action.
not a few dollars? I mean, I might even bet a few dollars on a couple other players. I like long odds. I'm not betting no serious money on them.
No, just fun bets.
Yeah, $5 bet. $2
We betting
bet.
a coin toss?
What is it, 50-50?
Tails never fails.
I hear you.
Tails never fails.
I just can't get into that, but I get it. I
bet
get
it
it
every year.
I know you do.
I bet
know
it
you
every
do.
year.
I know you. I just can't get into
I need to start off with a win or a loss.
To me, like
right off the bat.
Look, I know I got a problem, but to me, when I bet the coin toss, I got a fucking problem.
Hey, I'm trying to start off with a winner before the game's even
I get
kicked
it.
off.
There's no hate over here. I love it actually. I'm not allowing myself to go there.
All right, you got any more props? Or
No,
is that
that's
all you
it.
got
That's
too?
all- that's all I got.
Maybe we'll chime in on one of the social media outlets.
Your best prop bet, your number one prop bet you like.
My number one, Kelsey to propose.
Okay. I'm going to go my favorite prop bet. I'm going to go 2 of them. I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes under 251 and Barkley under 113.5.
I hear you. Off the ones that I've kind of mentioned, I'd probably go Kelsey 10-1 on the first touchdown of the game.
I like it.
I like that.
We also seen this, Charlie. We didn't talk about. I wanted to remind us for the game to go to overtime, 10-1 odds.
I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, I do too. I think it'll be a close game. I don't mind that bet. And the first touchdown of the game, Chiefs and Eagles defense are both separately 35-1. Dude, I don't think it's bad. Like a pick six to start, that happens.
Yeah, it does.
35-1. Now,
Those
I'm with
aren't
you.
terrible.
You
I
got to
had to
bet
bet-
both of
yeah,
them.
you gotta bet both
So
of
really,
them.
you're only getting 17.5-1. But still,
That's all right.
I like that.
You get both of them.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the game.
Yep, prop bets are over. Game
Get
time.
into the game.
Last game. Kind of sad.
It is.
You know, I've really
It's a yin yang thing. It's
It
like
is.
exciting because we got the Super Bowl and it's what you've been waiting for, and then it's like the next day it's going to be 7 months until we get more football.
this year was the biggest,
September's a long time.
the
Long
most
time
I've
away.
ever paid attention to the NFL. Now I've been into the NFL. When I was a kid, I was ate up with it, but as I got older, I started going more towards college football. I still keep up with it. I still bet it, but I never understood why people loved the NFL. I just didn't, and I'm sure they feel the same way about college football. It's just whatever you get into, I guess. But I have got into the NFL more this year, so that's been fun. I'm still a bigger college football fan, but it's not like overwhelming. There for a while, I would bet or keep up with it. I've always watched all day college football. There was times where I didn't even watch NFL during the day. I'd get on and check out scores and keep up with stuff, but I definitely watched a lot of NFL this year.
Yeah, but man, soon after high school, DirecTV come out.
Yep.
Sunday Ticket, man. I think what it is about NFL is that it's not as many teams.
Sure.
You got so many more teams in college football. It's sometimes if you're not really diving deep into it, it's hard to keep up because it's so many different teams.
I've always liked going to the games, and I love it.
I love that.
I still think college football's got the best atmosphere, but I've been to some good pro atmosphere games. So
See, I could argue both ways because it's different. Because
different.
You go to a college game, you've got the pageantry, you've got the student section, the bands, and all that good stuff. But dude, you go to a really good NFL game. Go to a game in Baltimore.
oh yeah, I believe it.
Go to a game in Green Bay.
I get it.
Go to a game in Philly. They're crazy. It's different, but they're wild crowds and they get into it too. It's just a different scene, I guess.
I
It's
just
the
feel like I'm
tradition.
so. I
It's
feel
the
like I guess I'm.
tradition with college.
I guess I feel so connected to those college teams. I don't know what it is. I guess I like the band, like you said. The pad. You
Yeah,
probably hit the
it's
spot on.
the tradition.
I
the
like
fight songs,
the tailgate,
and the tailgate.
yeah,
Even though NFL, go to a Ravens game, you can tailgate for 3-4 hours beforehand.
Life
have
goal.
a great time.
Life goals for me will be having an RV, going into University of Kentucky on Friday night. Them people, they do Friday night, all day Saturday, stay Saturday night, wake up Sunday morning, and head out. That will be life goals retirement for me.
I hear you. I've been to some good college football games, and the crowds are awesome in college football. It's hard to argue that there's anything better than a college football game that's really amped up. But I've also been to some really good NFL games, and a handful in Baltimore, and that place is wild as hell. I went to a game up in Pittsburgh, Dolphins Pittsburgh, a handful of years back in the pouring down snow. It couldn't have been any funner. It wasn't super, super cold, huge snowflakes. That place was rocking. It was a Monday Night Football game. Dude, it was freaking awesome. The atmosphere was great. So I just think it's, I don't know, it's just different.
I've always thought, for me, and I'm not saying I'm right, because maybe I'm not right. I haven't been to enough pro games to be able to say it. But the pro games I have been to, and I've been to some big ones, I've been to some weak ones. But when I leave, I feel like nobody's like really, really upset. I've left some college football games, and I'm sure there's a handful of fans like that in the pros. But in college football games, dude, I be looking at people in their eyes. They look hurt, dude. They look hurt.
NFL's got less teams, but college football's got less games.
Yeah.
So it does make the games maybe a little bit more just important. In the NFL, you can lose more than 2 games.
I might feel different if our city had a pro team. So I feel connected to Kentucky. Once I start liking a coach, it's hard for me to quit liking him.
I already know.
It's because I get connected to people. That's my thing. I get connected to them, and if I like them, I'm going to ride with them.
All right, so on to the big game. We got off track a little bit there, but on to the big game. First things first, I'm not going to talk about the refs.
No.
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave the refs out this week, at least until next week. But I'm not going to talk about them this week. I'm just going to talk about what I think about the game. And look, this is kind of what I've been saying in the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to have tons of stats for you. Matter of fact, I don't have any stats.
It's stat time's over.
Yeah, we know what we're about to see. We know what both teams are. It's more of a feel thing.
Good matchup.
Real good matchup.
No, it is.
Like I said last week, I think I think everybody should be happy with this matchup. I get it. Philly's the bad guys of the league, kind of always have been. Kansas City is now the hated team because they're
Cheaters.
on a run. They're a dynasty right now.
Cheaters.
Everybody hates greatness. They always have.
Hate cheaters.
So we're not going to talk about that.
All right.
But I get it. It might not be what everybody thinks they want, but I think it is the matchup. I think it's going to be a great game. You got 2 of the best defenses in the league. You've got superstars all over the place. Top quarterback of all time. I won't say the top, but a top quarterback. Best running back in the NFL. Tight end that's a Hall of Famer. Coach. You got stars everywhere.
No, you do.
Philly's got stars. Kansas City's got them. Taylor's going to be there. Everybody. Kendrick Lamar is going to be there. Dissing Drake at halftime.
I know if I had a ticket, I'd sell it.
Well, I did hear that they're a little bit down from what they were the last year or two.
Economy's a little bit down.
The last year or two, the cheapest ticket was $10,000.
Dude, people had stupid money for a while. Through the Bitcoin thing, all the COVID money that was out there. Dude, there was just stupid money flying around.
The Super Bowl has always been on my bucket list. I had a good buddy of mine go to the Super Bowl, I want to say in 02 or 03, Philly and New England.
Would you pay $10,000 to go to Super Bowl?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I
now.
wouldn't pay $5,000.
I'm so
maybe $1,500 for me is the most.
I'm so pissed that these prices have gotten to where they're at because it is maybe one of my top bucket list things.
You know what I think?
I would love to go to the Super Bowl.
You know what I think one of the problems are, and I think we face it on Derby a little bit too. We live in Kentucky. It's no secret. Kentucky is not on the coastline. Our cost of living is lower here. It just is. You don't have to make as much money to live a good life here. Positive or negative, it is what it is. Money's just bigger on the coast. It just is. But it also takes more money to live out there too. So your quality of life might be less than what it is here for somebody that makes less. But everybody wants to go to the Super Bowl so bad. All the big cities on the coast, their money's just big. You're seeing it with NIL, with the teams up north. Money's bigger up north than it is down south. So I think that's a factor. I'm not saying it's everything, but with everybody wanting to go, especially from the coastline, going to Super Bowls almost become not just about sports fans, but it's become this trendy thing.
Oh, it's a
people.
pop culture thing now.
Yeah,
I'm pissed that they've overpriced these tickets because I've always wanted to go. My buddy went in '02. You know how much he paid?
How much?
He bought a package, which was, I believe, the hotel and the ticket. I think he had to buy his flight. Maybe the flight was even included in this. But festivities leading up to the Super Bowl, which is a couple days leading up to the Super Bowl, and the game, and a hotel, $1,500.
Oh, I'll play
This was 2002 or 2003.
Derby tickets
I'm
used to
all
be the
for
same
that.
way.
$1,500. I would have already been to a Super Bowl by now if it was still $1,500.
That's my max. I mean, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't pay more than that. Now, if I was as big as NFL fan as you are, maybe I would go a little more. But for me, $1,500 is the max I would pay.
Now, I will say he didn't buy those tickets at the end of the year. He bought those tickets at the beginning. He bought those tickets after the Super Bowl the previous year. So he bought the package as soon as he could, not knowing who was going to be in the game. So it wasn't like the prices were probably more come game time. But for that package now, I'm sure you buy it last year at this time, and it's probably still $10,000.
The trendy stuff, it's all went up. The Derby, the Taylor Swift concerts.
Derby tickets have got outrageous.
Everybody around here
Ridiculous.
talks about it. That, Derby.
Because they priced the locals out.
Yeah, they have. They have. And it's like with the Taylor Swift tickets. My wife wanted to get some for my daughter one time, and she come to me, and she said the cheapest tickets were like $1,100. She said that was for nosebleed. But that was a good deal. That's what she told me.
Yeah.
I looked at her, I said, Katie, it's a concert. It's not even like a big event where we don't know who's going to win. It's a concert.
$1,100
Because
for
it's
a concert
But
ticket.
this is the problem. It ain't just the sports fans that it's all this trendiness. It's the I kind of hate that about the Super Bowl now, that it's become this pop culture thing. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a football guy. Leave all those people at home, you ask me. Give me football people.
Get them prices for the Super Bowl down, man. I'm trying to go to a Super Bowl one day. I ain't paying $10,000. Not happening.
Sneak in.
I wouldn't even do that if my team was in it. But I need to go to a Super Bowl, man. All right, so the big game. Look, don't think too much. I have not put a lot of thought into this. Matter of fact, I decided Championship Sunday. As soon as the games were over, I knew who I was picking. I know we've talked a lot of shit. I know they cheat. I know they got the refs in their pocket. My bad. I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm going with Kansas City. And not because I think they're cheaters, not because I think they got the refs in their pocket. I'm going with Kansas City because Kansas City wins the big games. They just do. They've been doing it for years. I'm not betting against them. Give me the better quarterback. Give me the better coach.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. I don't even know what the spread is.
Over,
it
under.
was 1.5. Is it still one? Has it moved?
Well, it got up to 2, and now it's down to 1.5. But it's 1.5 Philly minus $1.15. So it could be getting close to going down to 1. No, it's at 1 right now, minus $1.15. So it could be. Looks like the money's coming in on Philly. It's still early.
Over under. What is it?
Thought it was 49. Maybe
49. You know I like over.
Yeah, me and you kind of feel opposite on this game.
No matter what the number is, I like over. I do think they're going to score out. The defense
49.
I see a close game. I see a fairly high-scoring game. I think they both get close to 30. I'd say maybe like a 30-27, 30-24, 27-24. That puts you right around that. All those are over. So I like the over. I think they both get well into the 20s. Yes, their defenses are great. But Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid, they know what to do in the big games. So I don't have any doubt that they're going to put up some points. And Philly going to put up some points too. Their offense is unbelievably hard to deal with. I do like your bet of under yards for Saquon. That doesn't mean I don't think he'll have a good game. I just don't think he goes off for over, what is it, like 125 or something, 121.
Yeah.
I do like the under in that. I think this is going to be a really good game.
No doubt.
I do. I think it'll come down to the end. I wouldn't mind the 10-1 bet on the overtime.
I don't mind that bet.
I don't think either team runs away. If it's not a high-scoring game, let's go. Give me Chris Jones as the MVP, 66-1.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So that's who I like, man. I feel like I know who you are picking just by
we've
the
talked
way
a
you've
little
kind of
bit,
been
yeah.
talking. But, yeah, man, I can't do it. I'm not to the point yet where I was with the first quarterback that I ever decided that I will never bet against again was Brett Favre. Late in his career, I was not betting against Brett Favre. Tom Brady was the next one. Those might be the only two in the times that I've been betting that are two guys that just, to me, I am not betting against them. Mahomes is not to that yet, but he's real close. And I'm treating this game like that's the way I feel because it's a big game, and I think they're going to make history. I do. I think they're going to be the first team to go 3 in a row.
They said Pat Riley is the one that's going to benefit. Did you hear that? That back when he coached with the Lakers? Yeah, I think it was Lakers. They were going for a three-peat, and he tokened the name. What's that called? Copyrighted the three-peat a bunch of different ways. And they said he set out to make like so many $1 million if they win.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I heard that somewhere.
So he's got like a copyright on the
All kinds
the
of
phrase three-peat?
Yeah, a bunch of different ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Way to be ahead of the game there,
no,
bud.
it is. It is.
Way to be ahead
You know, you
of
hear
the
stuff
game.
on the internet. Hopefully it's true. So for me, Charlie, I'm sitting here looking at 2 tickets I made on December 26th. I have $500 to win about $2,500.
There you go.
It's on the Chiefs. I told you I thought their offense would start. If you followed me this year, I wasn't about the Chiefs, but I thought their offense was starting to come together. I had a ticket on Philly winning the NFC Championship, but I do think I'm going to cash this ticket out. So I'm guessing I'll get about half, or I can just bet half the other way and hedge. I think Philly's plus like $1.10 money line. So I do think I'm going to cash it out. I like Philly in the game, Charlie. Right now, getting +1. I just think their defense is going to be able to shut Kansas City down. I do. When Philly's been right, they've been the best team, been hard to beat. I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy, but I think this is a lot bigger than Jalen Hurts. I think this is about they are the most complete team. And for me, I'm going to go under. I could see this game being a defensive standoff, but I don't love that bet. I do like that bet a lot. I thought I loved it, but I don't think I'll love it because I could see a world where they could kind of get in a shootout if both teams kind of were going at each other. So I don't love it. I will be making that under bet, but I do like the Philly bet, and I'll be honest, I kind of like the Philly bet pretty good. That's
So
what
we're
I like.
splitting on both of those.
Yep.
Splitting on both of them.
Make it
Might as
fun.
well just bet each other and get the juice out.
That's right. I'd rather take their money than yours.
I feel you.
Dude, I'm telling you, the whole thing with Churchill Downs, that's where I bet my ball games. And they took a lot of money from it. Horses are hard to beat. They keep too much of a percentage. And I've had a good run here. And being able to get money from them, I do think about it. It does matter. Because they took a lot of money from me, the horses did. And I feel like I'm getting some back. It's the same company. I feel like I'm getting some back. Kind of like it.
I don't blame you. They took a lot of money from me, too, and a lot of other people, too.
So, yeah, I'm going to go Philly. Last game of the year, Super Bowl. I did see Super Bowl early odds for next year. Kansas City's 5.8 to 1, Buffalo 6.5, Baltimore 6.5, Philly 7.5, and Detroit's 9.5.
Give me the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins. What's their odds?
I don't know. They were too far down.
27,000 to 1. I'll take it.
Oh.
It better be because I'll get into that. But, yeah, man, Super Bowl. It's
Sad time.
It is.
Sad
It is.
time.
Sunday's going to be fun. I don't really have any plan. Matter of fact, you know what?
Baseball will be starting soon, Charlie.
Speaking of that, where do you think I'm going to be at on Sunday?
Baseball?
Freaking baseball on February the whatever.
That's crazy.
I hope one of his coaches is listening right now. That's some bullshit. We are playing an indoor tournament. 3 teams. 3 teams
Where's it at?
over in southern Indiana, somewhere inside.
I've been to that place. It's not very big. But
Yeah, that's
it does give you some reps, and they're younger players. That could work.
So 2 games on Saturday as normal. And then our 3-team bracket play starts at like 3 o'clock.
It's over New Albany, getting close to like Charles. It's like on the back end of New Albany.
Is it?
There. Yeah, it's in like the old neighborhood. It's in the middle of a neighborhood.
The championship game starts at like 4 o'clock.
Get some reps in.
So if my son's team makes it to the championship, I'm going to be leaving the baseball field probably about the same time that the Super Bowl's starting. I don't ever watch pregame. All the football I watch,
I don't like it.
I never watch pregame.
Listen, I know his coaches. I know them. I like them. They're good guys. I don't like that. I don't like it.
What, the baseball or the pregame?
Having the
baseball?
the tournament. That's
Exactly.
super. I mean, listen, I'm not even as big as NFL guys. Some guys are.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, one thing about the Super Bowl, it's always on a Sunday, right? Super Bowl Sunday. It's become such a big event, even for the ladies or non-football fans. Why don't we have that Monday off?
Oh, so many people have talked about that for years.
Why can't we schedule an in-service day? Or
Trump.
Or can Super Bowl? Would it be too? I know this is asking a lot. Maybe it's traditionalists wouldn't like it. Super Bowl Saturday.
I think I've heard people talk about that too.
I think Halloween should be the last Saturday in October.
Trump, make Monday after Super Bowl a holiday. He said he's going to the game. I'm sure some of that's probably got to do with the tragedy that happened in New Orleans a few weeks back that has already been kind of swept under the rug by everybody. But I do think that plays a big part in why Trump is going to the game. I know he's a sports fan, but I think that's the main reason he's going, is to kind of make sure that those victims get honored.
What's the odds he does the Trump dance?
Probably pretty low at the Super Bowl, I'd say.
I seen a thing. Old George Strait, he was up on stage the other day, and he did the little Trump dance.
So Kendrick Lamar is doing the halftime. You know who Kendrick Lamar is?
Nope.
Nope. He
I
said,
don't.
nah, hell no.
I don't. I really don't.
He's one of the hot rappers or whatever, him and Drake. I know you know who Drake is, right?
I do know who Drake is, yeah.
Yeah, so they got a little feud going on. They made some diss tracks this past year back and forth to each other. And Kendrick Lamar makes a diss track supposedly like the next day after Drake drops one. He has it ready in like one day. I think. I could be wrong about that. My man won a Grammy for Song of the Year.
Oh, my God.
On his diss song. How crazy is that?
I'm not a big rap fan.
I know,
so.
but I'm just saying the
Yeah.
story. He won a Grammy on his diss song. That's gotta hurt for Drake. That's gotta hurt. And Drake's getting killed for it. I don't listen to either one of them. That song, though, I do like that song. I know you know that song. They not like us. They not like us. That's the one. He won like every Grammy. He won like 5 Grammys, and he won Song of the Year. And I've heard some rumblings that Drake might have had his people reach out to the NFL and tell them to not let that song be played at the halftime show.
Wow.
So I'll be interested to see if he plays that on the biggest stage that there is.
No doubt.
Drake is not going to be liking that if he does. It's in New Orleans, though. Kendrick is from L.A. I know the big controversy was when they announced this, why was Lil Wayne not the halftime act? I kind of like Lil Wayne, but, man, the dude is a mess. Have you seen him, like, talk or anything lately?
Lainey Wilson should have been the halftime.
Lainey
Wilson. She's from down there. I'm a country music fan.
Should have
Lil Rock.
been Lil Wayne, but I don't know if anybody would have been able to understand what he was talking about because he's a mumbling something else. The only thing I care about is Kendrick Lamar going to play the diss track on the biggest stage that there possibly is, and Drake's butthole is going to be puckered the whole time.
You know what I do at halftime? I play ping pong. We go to my mother-in-law's house. She always has like a little Super Bowl party for our family. Halftime, me and Rex is down in the basement playing ping pong. We're pretty good at ping pong, Dave.
It's usually my time to take a walk.
I got you.
Time to take a walk.
Take a ride, my dad would
Take
say.
a little ride. Get some fresh air. That's what my stepdad calls it. Charlie's just getting some fresh air. All right, so we are both splitting the over-under and the pick. Anthony's got the Eagles and the under. I've got Kansas City in the over. See what happens.
Look,
See what happens. Let's hit some prop bets.
It's going to be a good game. I would not be surprised if either team won it.
Let's hit that coin toss. Get us started on the right foot. Let's get a first touchdown.
Only degenerates bet the coin toss. I'm trying to stay out of the degenerate group, so I feel like that it keeps me out a little bit.
I need 2 early ones. I need the coin toss. I need a first touchdown of the game, and then I need 2 late ones, MVP and some orange Gatorade.
I like it. I'm going to bet some prop bets this year. I'm going to bet them.
All right, guys, have fun at your Super Bowl parties. I don't really, like I said, I don't have no plans because I can't have any plans. I am going to be at the baseball field, but hopefully I'll be home in time for the start of the game. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, Anthony, I'm thinking about it again this year. The big poker game on the Super Bowl. I played some. We played some poker last week. It was fun. I haven't played poker in such a long time.
It's been a long time for me too. I played as well, and it's been since my kids really got into sports. I was starting to play poker, and I felt like I was a pretty good hold'em player. I'm good with numbers. I'm good with probability. But once my kids start playing sports, all my free time went. It was gone, and I like it. I enjoy coaching my kids, being involved with my kids. That's what I do. That's a lot what Charlie does too. That's how we kind of became friends. I do enjoy hold'em. I enjoy the strategy of it. You got to have time for it because it's a patience game, but it's a lot of strategy, a lot of analyzing. I had fun.
I got into the hold'em pretty big right after I graduated high school, somewhere around maybe 02 or 03 when it boomed right there with Chris Moneymaker and it got big, and then they started the online stuff, and I was online. I'm telling you, it was probably 02 or 03. I was online on a big old desktop computer playing Texas Hold'em tournaments.
I never trusted online stuff. Not just because, to me, it'd be so easy for 2 or 3 people, or you be playing everybody in the room.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it too, man. That was when it was
big.
That was the beginning of the online poker. And I got into it big for just about maybe a year or 2, but I haven't played Texas Hold'em in a long time.
So I grew up in a gambling family. We always played poker. Then we were playing poker for baseball cards. That was the value instead of currency.
Did that plenty of times.
So when the Hold'em thing started, I'd been around that stuff. I was eating people up early because a lot of people didn't even know how to play at that point. People got better, people got better.
And everybody thought they were the next Chris Moneymaker.
I will say, those people that play a lot, they live in those places.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have patience. You got to pick your spots. There's a lot to it, but you got to have time, and that's just something I don't got. So
I like the Hold'em, but we played a cash game after the Hold'em tournament.
The different dealer's choice.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Just dealer's choice. Playing a bunch of different games. Got into some match the pot games. Those are always fun.
Not when you're playing with friends. I don't like pots that get too big when you're playing with friends. I just don't. I've told you that. I don't I'm okay with playing my friends for money. I just don't like when it gets kind of uncomfortable.
Friendly card game.
Yeah, I don't like it when it gets uncomfortable.
It didn't get uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's good.
It didn't.
I've been to a few of those games that got uncomfortable.
The only time it gets uncomfortable is if, people are in pots that they don't have the money in their pocket.
Charlie, it happens.
But look, here's the thing. If I'm sitting there with 5 or 6 guys and they're all my good friends, dude, we can sit there and play with IOUs.
That's right.
Because I know you're good.
That's right. That's right.
I know that if we're sitting there and we're going to play this game and you ain't got it, a couple dollars, we can play for IOUs. But when it gets to the point where you got maybe 1 or 2 people in that group that are playing that aren't such close friends with everybody.
No, it's different.
Then it's a lot different to start playing for IOUs, because if that 1 or 2 people that are there end up on IOUs, just to me,
you ain't gonna see them again.
Yeah, so I have no problem. When I was younger, I played a weekly Friday night card game, dealer's choice. Everybody took quite a bit of money. I say quite a bit.
It was big for y'all then?
Whatever. Yeah, this was right after high school, early 20s. A few $100, $400 or $500 or whatever. That was a lot of money.
No, but that's what I'm saying. At that moment when you lose, that's uncomfortable. Now that you're older, more established, yeah, it sucks if you lose $400 or $500, but you could take those hits. When I was younger, if I lost $500, I was a
already
little
know.
sad. I was a little
Probably
sad.
all the money I had.
Yeah,
What do you mean? I didn't have no
sad.
savings. I took every dollar out of my bank account to go to
Try
the
to
card
double it
game.
up. Try to double it up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying those were friendly games. Yes, we were playing for money, and yes, we were everybody understood that
Playing hard. Playing hard.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're having a serious card game. We're all friends, and it's not like we never had no issues, but there was plenty of IOUs. But it's cool if you know everybody and you trust everybody, and everybody's in it to have some fun. We had some fun this weekend, dude. I stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning, Anthony.
Sure.
Yeah, shoe is right.
Yeah.
I was racing to get home, to get in my bed, to get my eyes closed before the sun came up, because I knew if the sun came up, I was going to be no good for 2 days. So it was a great time, but he has a huge poker game, Super Bowl night. I've wanted to go the last couple of years, haven't went. Wouldn't even be thinking about going right now if I didn't play poker a couple of days ago. Now it's got me wanting to go.
Oh, I get it.
And I came out a winner last week, so maybe I'll take my winnings and go over there and try to take some more money from them. All right, college basketball. Well, before we get into that, let's just touch on this real quick. Don't have to be long on it, but Saturday night, late Saturday night, while I'm still sitting there playing poker at about 1:30 in the morning, breaking news on ESPN at 1:30 on a Saturday night. That was weird. Weird timing. Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis.
And
There was some other stuff.
First round pick.
Yeah, and there was the Jazz was involved somehow. I don't know. There was a third team involved or something. But it was did they give him the Lakers gave him a first round pick too?
2029. But it is a first round pick. I wouldn't want it right now anyways. 2029 is probably the better pick. That'd probably be after LeBron retires. They'll probably be going through some rebuilding years.
My initial thought while I was sitting there half drunk, what the hell is Dallas doing? And I think that was everybody's thought. Internet started blowing up, and it was, what in the hell? How did they do that? Worst trade of all time, which I think that is.
I think a lot of people are still saying it. I don't think it's that. I mean,
worst
it's not.
trade of all time is the most preposterous thing I've ever heard.
It's yet to-
Anthony Davis is one of the top 15, top 20 players still.
And he plays on both sides of the court. That was the biggest look. I like
He
Luka.
might be a top 5 defender in the league still.
Well, listen, I like Luka. I think Luka's good. I think my son likes him. But we all know Luka has issues with defense.
He obviously has maybe some more issues than that if Dallas was willing to get rid of him. Dude, he is one of the best players in the NBA in his prime. You know how old he is? 25 years old.
Damn, I didn't know that.
He's 25.
Damn, I thought he was older.
Unless my son lied to me. You might want to double check that.
Charlie's probably legit.
But he did look it up. He looked it up then he told me.
I'm
so
sure he's
unless
right.
he looked somewhere wrong, 25, he's still, if that's right and he's 25 years old, still got
He looks young.
Still got 10 years left.
I bet she's 25 because he looks young.
But I will say this. After sleeping on it, after reading a little bit on it,
25.
I don't think this is a big, especially immediately, I don't think it makes a huge difference for the Lakers. I know everybody's saying, oh, Lakers are winning it all now, and it's not fair, and LeBron this, and he always gets. Look, I do not think this is going to make them an automatic, immediate contender right now. Maybe next year.
It never works like that.
And
Charlie.
LeBron's I know he's still doing his thing, still putting up numbers, but how much longer can the man go?
I think that's a sign he's going to retire.
40-something years old.
Him and Anthony Davis were friends.
And they're going to replace him.
Yeah.
It is about time to replace him, I guess. That's looking to the future. I just don't think that makes them immediate title contenders. I just don't.
LeBron's got to be getting bored of the NBA. He's got to. He's got all his money. He's got to, dude. At some point, you want to do something else. I'm that way. I know, like,
it's probably scary, though.
Look, we've talked about that. Not for him. For other people, he's
For
got a lot going
anybody.
on. He's got a lot going on.
But that's your whole life.
I know.
That's been his whole life.
But he owns teams. He got a lot
I know,
going on.
but
for
he'll
me,
have no problem doing other stuff.
So for me, I've told you this, Charlie, and you're a little different, and we've talked about it. When I do something for a long time, like as much as I'm going to miss gambling on football, I almost need a little break. I know myself, and I know that I get bored with things.
Need a reset?
I get bored with things. Just, get burnt out on them. It's kind of nice. There's times of the year where I'm coaching more, and we're going to start our baseball season coaching. We were out practicing the other day and kind of getting ready. Kind of got a little fever there. So it's kind of nice getting the breaks and stuff.
I don't think it's a big difference maker. Maybe I'll be wrong about that, and if I do, I'll eat crow, but I don't see the Lakers winning the championship or making a deep run. I just don't see it. And I feel like there's got to be some underlying stuff. Even though I did hear that owner is an idiot, I don't know that to be true. So maybe it's a bad move on Dallas's part. Maybe it's a good move. Maybe he doesn't work hard enough. Maybe he's not committed to.
And maybe it's bad for culture when your best player don't work hard enough. I could see that. Listen, I like Luka, but something ain't working down there. Because, I mean, everybody thinks he's great. I am a believer that defense does not get the praise that offense does.
Well, he don't play that.
And I just, defense does win, in my opinion. But
that's his thing. He don't play defense. So, all right, college basketball. Another sad subject right now.
Yep.
Cats have dropped
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
They'll bounce back. Be fine.
Our one win out of those 4, or out of those 5.
Might have been the toughest one. At Tennessee.
Kind of what we've been doing all year. We're winning the games we don't think we're going to win, and then we're losing the games that we probably should. Look, we don't have a lot. I said this last week. We were like 6-1 against quad 1 teams. All of our losses but one before last week had come to quad 1 teams. So it's not like we have a lot of bad losses, but Cal came in and spanked our ass, and that was a bad loss. I said I thought that they were going to keep it close. It was something that was worrying me about that game, just the mojo of everything and just how big everything had became with just the story and Cal coming back. I just felt like it would be a close game. I did think we would win, but that was a bad loss. And the Ole Miss loss last night, it was at Ole Miss. They're a ranked team. They're a good team.
That's not a bad loss.
But we got our ass kicked.
But we can't lose 4 out of 5.
We got our ass kicked. We lost by 14 last night, but it was not even that close. We were down by up to like 25 or 26 in the first half.
We got a lot of injuries going on right now. Pope will be fine.
We got a lot of injuries. Both of our top 2 point guards out. Carr, the center, just came back, but he's still beat up. I just think that the conference play is really showing the vulnerability of our roster from top to bottom.
Sure.
I don't think we're deep enough. And maybe it's just the case where we don't have those top guys yet.
So I thought about this, Charlie, before we talked about it tonight. I thought I've seen some people being rough on Pope, and it's
that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Message boards are ridiculous. So, but then I thought, is that fair or not fair? So I'm trying to analyze that in my head. And there was a piece of me that says, first thing into my mind was, you really don't get time. It's different today's college. This is the first thing that came to my mind. This ain't what I ended up thinking. But in today's college basketball with the NIL, you're buying ready-made teams. It used to be you would give coach needs 3 years to get his players in there. Them days are over. I've said it from the get-go. Those players don't play for the name on the front, Kentucky. They're hired assassins just like the guys before. They'll leave us if they get a better offer next year, if it's, enough. That was the first thought that came to my mind. You're buying ready-made teams now. But then there was another piece. He got here late. Well, he had to kind of hurry up and put it together. Yeah, they did spend the money, but he had to hurry up and put it together. So let's
get 1 month.
That's right. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And next year, I don't think he gets no more time because you are buying ready-made teams. But I'm gonna give it to him because he got here kind of late. The guy's a good coach. We're just going through a rough patch, and we're fighting some major injuries right now.
And we're in a gauntlet of a conference.
We are. We truly are. I was watching the game Saturday, talking about the Arkansas game, and y'all know how I feel in here about it. So I did think Kentucky. I did not bet the game, but I did think Kentucky was a good bet. From what I'd seen from Arkansas, Kentucky was just better. But as I start watching the game, and I'd heard some boos, and then I just seen how hyped the fans were, and that bothered me. I'll be honest with you. When I was sitting there in the poker game, it did bother me. They're not even that good. Well, why are we doing this? It's that I get it. You know how I feel. I know how you feel. It bothered me that we have that much hate in our heart. So there was a piece of me at first, because I think Kentucky got up at like 6. The fans were going crazy. There was a piece of me that thinks, dude, I don't want them to blow them out. I want them to beat them, but I don't want them to blow them out. Well, then next thing you know, we're down. I did not want us to lose. I really did. I want my Cats to win every game. I even told you before that when Cal comes in the rup, I'm all about wanting to beat him. But at the end of the game, when it was all over, I'll be honest with you, Charlie, it was nothing that I wanted us to lose, but I felt like some of our fans got what they deserved.
You wanted us to lose.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I did not. Honestly, I would tell you. I'm telling you that I just felt like they got a little bit. I think our fans are so arrogant at times. And that don't mean all of them are, but I just feel a lot of them are arrogant at times. People they thought they were going to get for coaches, and in reality, not a lot of coaches were signing up to come. The days of going to a certain program for this or that, them days are over. Kids are following the money. Lane Kiffin said it best last week. It's not a recruiting war no more. It's a bidding war. That's the big statement he made last week. And so I didn't want us to lose, but I did feel like our fans showing up there, making it all the hateful energy. I didn't want us to lose during a game, but then when it was over, it was like, he deserved that.
You wanted that.
No, I didn't.
You wanted
no,
that.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm telling you, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't.
Just to be clear, booing does not mean hate.
There was hate out there, dude. I seen it in the fan. I seen it.
Booing does not mean hate.
I agree with that.
Boo.
I agree, but there's a different kind of booing. There was different energy in that building. What I was seeing, anyways, and leading up to the game, I seen where the big conflict was Reed Shepherd. He had the UK shorts and
yeah. So
Arkansas
what do you think about that?
I had no problem with it.
Oh my goodness,
no problem with it. No,
you don't have no problem with that.
No, it's
but you got a problem with got a problem with Kentucky fans booing.
He's
Cal,
a young,
just booing him.
He's a young kid.
But you don't have no problem.
He's a young kid.
He's from Kentucky.
I know, but he also that's his coach. That was just him. That's just him saying he's a UK fan, but he supports his coach. That was just his way of saying that. He might have went about it wrong, but I truly think what he was trying to get through with that message was, I'm a UK guy. I'm through and through.
UK guy with the shorts on and the shirt and the Arkansas shirt on.
But Cal was my coach, and I support him. I think he felt kind of like I did. He didn't like the hate. And
did you see what Arkansas tweeted after
Arkansas,
the game?
Dude.
Did you see what they said, though?
I'm sure. I don't know, but what they say. I'm sure some smart
posted a picture of Reed and then said Arkansas on top.
And maybe it wasn't the best. Maybe it wasn't the best thing for him to do, but I know what image but what he was trying to accomplish with that. I think his heart was in the right place. He felt
not for a kid that comes from Kentucky. His dad and his mom both played for Kentucky.
So don't doubt him. Don't doubt him as a Kentucky guy. There's no doubt.
I'm not mad
Reed
at
Shepherd's
him.
Through and through.
I'm not mad at him. I just think it was stupid.
I got you. I feel like he kind of felt like I did. Like that's exactly kind of how I felt.
So Kentucky fans should not be mad. Should not boo their ex-coach.
Not with hate. Maybe
that boo's hate and that boo's not.
No, there is.
Boo's a boo.
No, it ain't.
They're booing the coach coming in.
No, like there can be like a boo, but with a smile. There can be. I've seen it in games. But there's sometimes you boo because you fucking hate that person. And I felt like it was more of that boo. I do.
Yeah, that's subjective. I mean,
it is. No doubt. It is. That's how I took it. But
I think the boos are mainly just boos. It's the first time. Now the bad part is they beat us. So guess what happens next time we play them? It's going to be just like it again.
I did hear that a lot of the boos came from the students, and they were just so loud.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I did, and I'll give them a pass.
I believe that. I believe that most of them were the fans. The students.
I'll give them a pass.
Yeah, they're young.
I'll give them a pass. So is Reed, and I give him a pass on that. I think I know what he was trying to do with it. Maybe he didn't do it the right way.
I'm not mad at him. I don't hate him. I still hope he's good, but I do think that was a dumb decision by a kid from Kentucky. If that would have been De'Aaron Fox or Anthony Davis,
I guess I just like it that he ain't. He did what he thought was right, and maybe it wasn't right. Maybe it was. But he wasn't kissing everybody's ass. I feel like some people go around being fake because they're so worried they're going to offend this person. Do what you think's right. Do what you think's right. And maybe it wasn't right. But I think his heart was in the right place.
We know he supports Cal. You're a Kentucky kid. You wanted to play for Kentucky your whole life. You played for Kentucky.
Well, I just think he wanted.
Why are you wearing an Arkansas?
I just think he wanted. That wasn't about Arkansas. That was just him letting
Cal. Wear a Cal shirt. I could have let him borrow one.
But it was, I think it was his way of saying, I know there's a lot of hate and energy in the building today. And, Coach, I'm a Kentucky guy. That's why I got my Kentucky shorts on. But I love you, and I still support you. He ain't no Arkansas fan, dude.
No, I know he's not, but I just don't think it was smart.
He
Like
don't
I
have
said,
no,
I'm not going to hate him just like I don't hate Cal.
But you know how much hate I've seen, some serious hate. I think our fans just have a lot of hate in their heart, dude. I had that when I was a little bit younger.
It's because we're such a passionate fan base. That means you get a group of them that are just dumbasses.
They are, dude.
And it's not just Kentucky.
But you're right.
Every
You're
fan
right.
base
You're right.
has that
You
little
are right.
pocket of fans.
I guess those pockets are loud or they're just very vocal or something. I don't know. We need to call them the silent majority. I think you're right.
I really don't think they're the majority.
No.
The dumbass,
I'm not that locked into
obnoxious
it now.
fans
Yeah, I don't think I'm not that locked
in
into it
any
anymore.
fan base. I think they're a small percentage, but like you just said, they're the loudest.
Yeah.
They're in your face. They're on the internet.
Yeah.
They're on the message boards. The internet is the best and the worst thing because you get great info, but then you get the most hate that you can possibly find.
I'm 42, Charlie. And I just think as I've got older, I've got past the hate. Like the true hate. I can still hate a team and not like somebody. I don't like Lamar. You know that. I've made it public, but I don't hate him. Like I don't have that same hate.
All right, fill in the blank. Fill in the blank.
Okay.
Anthony Roberts.
Anthony Roberts.
Blank.
Blank.
No, you got to fill in the blank.
Okay.
Anthony Roberts. Blank. Rick Pitino.
I will say this. No. You know how I feel about him. You know how I feel. I made it public. But I will say what he did the other. Look, I've always felt like everything about Rick was about Rick. And what he came out and said before the game probably was the most unselfish, classiest thing. That did go a little bit with me because I just think what
does a man not know that he coaches a Division I team right now?
They're pretty good.
That's 22-3.
Yeah. I look
still talking about Kentucky every chance he gets. Imagine if you was a St. John's fan, like a diehard St. John's fan, and your coach keeps making videos about Kentucky basketball.
He ain't going nowhere. He's too old.
He'll come back to Kentucky as soon as they give him a spot.
Yeah, probably.
Ambassador, whatever you want to call it, he'll quit St. John's right now.
Yeah.
Mitch called him right now and said, "Dude, come on, we need you right now to be an ambassador. But we need you right now."
I think
guarantee you he quits.
I think when you get older, I heard it from my dad. I heard it from my grandparents. You just become a lot calmer. You become the hateful energy leaves you sometimes. I feel like I'm already starting to do that. I feel like I'm a lot calmer. When I was younger, you're just so high strung, full of testosterone. You know, you're just But as you start to get older, you start to get a little wiser, a little bit more patient.
Stuff doesn't bother you as much as when you were younger. Well, drop 4 or 5. Kentucky has to step it up. I did hear that we have got one of the easier remaining schedules in the SEC, which is kind of surprising when I'm sitting here looking at it, and we still play 4th-ranked Tennessee, 3rd-ranked Alabama, 1st-ranked Auburn, and 15th-ranked Missouri. Wow. And I literally just heard, like today or yesterday, that we have one of the easiest remaining SEC schedules.
It's rough. It's rough.
We played 3 top 5 teams.
Yeah, what Louisville? I think Louisville's played like
Sisters of the Poor.
Sisters of
the Poor. They ain't played
my grandfather used to
and
love.
They got beat. I sat there and told you and a couple of my U of L fans that I thought U of L was a decent bet to win the ACC because of their remaining schedule. They go drop a game to Georgia Tech when they were winning by double digits at halftime.
Do you know the ACC really struggled in football this year? And
they might be worse in basketball.
Yeah. So
I mean, Duke's good, but other than that, I mean, Clemson's decent, and Wake Forest is halfway decent, and North Carolina is not very good.
How good's Cooper Flagg?
You got Louisville.
How good's Cooper Flagg?
He's good.
Is it without Cooper Flagg? What kind of teams, Duke? Are they still a really high level team?
Well, I mean, they probably have one other player, so it would depend on who that other player was.
They probably spent a lot of money for him too, so the money would go somewhere else.
He's a big time player. Every time I've tuned into Duke, he's making big time plays. He's not just your average white boy.
No,
I've seen him take it to the rack and try to dunk on people multiple times. So I haven't seen a ton of Duke, but I do think Cooper Flagg is the truth.
Did you see just touch on it real quick before we're done here? I know we don't like talking about it, but I thought it was a big article. the ESPN article that I sent you and Barry about all the teams in the cheating ring, Terry Rozier and all of them.
Yeah, I seen the old former Cardinal was on there.
A lot of small teams too. That's
denying it, or not denying it, but refusing to talk about it.
NBA, NFL, a lot of small colleges, a lot of bigger colleges.
That other dude in the article got kicked out of the NBA.
Dude, they're cheating. It would be too easy. And I think basketball is the worst. But I will say this, like my follower used to always say about horse racing. If they're cheating, you just got to find out. That's the new thing you're trying to find out. Who's cheating and get on that side.
Well, you saw what that article said. A lot of that cheating is on like player props and shit.
Oh, I see that. I think, but that also could lead to some score situations.
It could.
Yeah. But if they're doing,
it's a lot easier to say, don't go out there and get these 6 rebounds that you're supposed to get.
I think there was like 9 or 10 teams on that. That's just the teams they caught in this. So how many people are doing? It's too easy. Look, these people now they got access to money, especially the college kids. There's no way they're not doing it. They're humans, man. You ever remember The Longest Yard? Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
He told the guys in prison they wanted to know why he threw the game. He said, "I got in real bad with some really bad people." I think it happens, man. And once you play ball,
oh, you're stuck then.
you are. You might as well make you some money because you ain't getting out.
Nah, you're stuck once you play ball with them. So Kentucky does have those ranked teams left, but they have some winnable games. South Carolina coming up. I think that's Saturday.
They're going to get it right here, Charlie. I believe in Coach. Listen, I hated losing 4 or 5 guys, but I do think this our fan base needed this. I really do. I almost feel like they needed a little humble pie. Pope didn't need it. Pope's he's a smart guy. He's steadfast. He's good. But I think our fans need a little humble pie. I do.
Anybody that's dogging or saying anything bad about Pope is an idiot.
And they're out there, dude.
Look, sometimes you lose games.
It happens.
And like we mentioned, he had a month to put this team together. Anthony said he doesn't think, next year he doesn't get a pass. I think he even gets another pass.
No way. Not with today's – it's different because you can buy ready-made teams. Like your budget's your budget.
I'm not going to say he'd be on, like, his seat would be hot next year, even if he –
No. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that.
Even if we dropped out in the first round this year,
I don't believe in that.
I don't think his seat's hot next year.
I don't think it – you hire a guy, you give him at least 3 to 4 years.
You got to, unless you're the Patriots.
I will say, and I still think you do it because you hired the guy. Let him figure it out if he was worth hiring. But the NIL has changed. Used to be you get recruits, you develop them, get your upperclassmen in there. If you recruit a kid, you better be able to pay him next year because that's what it is. It's Lane Kiffin. You heard me a second ago. Lane Kiffin came out and said this week he got quoted as saying, "It's not a recruiting war; it's a bidding war."
It is. It's changed.
Yeah,
and it's how it's going to be moving forward.
Hopefully they can get a hold on it, man, because I do not see this ending well for the sports I love. I really don't.
Once they get out on that football field, basketball court, they're not worried about the money they're making. Most of them, 90% of them, are playing their hearts out once they get out on the field.
Sure,
so
but I do think
it changes the dynamics
with everybody,
of the whole
like
sport.
It's getting worse and worse, and with people just leaving every year, you're going to have a brand new team every year. And I do think fans can go through some fatigue. I've seen it at Kentucky.
It in basketball.
Yeah, I know it, but
but
it's one thing when you're winning at a high level. When you start losing, when you're doing that and you start losing, fan fatigue will kick in quick. I think that's exactly what happened to us.
Yeah, so Kentucky needs to get it together. We do have some winnable games. Along with those tough ones, we got South Carolina, who is the worst team in the league, at Texas. We got a rematch against Vanderbilt that we have to win. And then we got a game against LSU. So we have some winnable games, and I think with our record, which is 15-7, and the wins that we've already got, Anthony, three more wins.
It'd be hard to keep us out with
3 more wins, maybe. I mean, you can't drop every game.
No,
you can't lose out. But I think you get that South Carolina game. You win that Vandy game.
We lose out. I don't want to go to the tournament anyways. I don't want to, limp into the tournament.
Yeah, get those 2. That'd be 17 at Texas, and then LSU. That'd be 18. So get those 3 right there. Home games against South Carolina, Vanderbilt, LSU. Get those, and you're at 18. I almost think that gets you in. Because
Yeah.
even if we lost to Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn, maybe try to sneak one of at Texas or at Missouri last game, get 4 or 5 more wins. And
Dude,
really, I think if we get 3 more wins, we're in.
Let's just get this ship turned around and get it heading the right direction. We're all right.
I do want to
We're
see
all
us in
right.
that tournament, though.
Oh, I do too.
I
but
do want to see us in that tournament.
I do.
I love March, and I hate it when we're not in it.
I do, too.
Which has only happened maybe twice in the Calipari era, but it was not – I hated it, man. Not getting in is the worst.
No, it is, but we're fine. We just got to get the ship turned around, maybe try to get healthy, and we're
We
fine.
definitely need to get healthy. We need Butler back. He is – I didn't know he was this important to our team. I think he really is very important.
He's the best on-ball defender we got. He's tough on the ball.
And – you know, I don't think he was the difference in that Ole Miss game because we got our asses kicked. But he might have been able to been the difference in that Arkansas game. The Mississippi game was just a one-off. I don't know if you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we just got ran out of the gym in the first half, so it really made the second half even hard to even want to watch. So, all right, well, the boys are going to have to get a few wins here. Next game is this weekend. Looks like Saturday at noon at home against South Carolina. So, winnable game. Let's just get back on track. And then we got Tennessee at home. We beat them on the road, so we got them at home. So, we got a chance to go on a little run here, but it's going to be tough. Anthony, let's win some money.
No doubt.
Sunday, last game of the year, the big game, the big kahuna.
Started.
Don't bet against Kansas City. How many refs are on the field?
A lot.
Like 6?
No
7?
doubt.
So I guess it's about 18 on 11.
No, it is. It is.
I said I wasn't going to say nothing. All right, guys, find some prop bets. Let us know what you like.
Get some nachos, drink some beer. We didn't talk about Super Bowl food, but food's always good on Super Bowl.
Chicken wing,
all kinds of junk food. Just
Yeah.
all kinds of fucking junk food.
Give me some chicken wings and some
I like chips.
some chips and dip.
I'm a chips and salsa guy.
Yeah,
I don't
chips
like.
and dip,
I don't
chips
like.
and salsa?
So my kids, you know, they like cheese sauce. I'm
You
a
don't
chip.
like dip?
I'm
You
a.
don't like
I love salsa.
Queso?
I like salsa, and believe it or not, I like the generic Kroger brand. My wife started getting it years ago. The best damn salsa there is.
See, I need queso, and then I dip it in the salsa. I need a little double dip.
I like
there.
queso, but if you just gave me a choice, most people are queso people. Give me a bowl of sauce.
I need both of them.
Yeah.
Give me some chips and dip, and give me some chicken wings. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to get me some chicken wings on the way home from baseball.
I like the scoops. You know the scoops?
Scoops. The
they're
scoop
the best.
chips.
They're
Yeah,
the
heck
best.
yeah, the scoop chips. All right, guys, win some money. No parlays. We'll come up with some parlays for college basketball next week, but find a winner in the Super Bowl. Get you a prop bet. Bet on the orange Gatorade. Anthony's got red.
And bring back the Bud Bowl.
And tails never fails. Yeah, and if you don't know what the Bud Bowl is, Google it.
Google it.
YouTube it.
I'm going to Google it here in a minute.
Hey, Bud Bowl and Marshawn Lynch playing video games with Conan O'Brien. Thank me later after you watch that video.
Good stuff.
All right, guys, blitz the bookie, man. Get some money this weekend. See y'all next week.
See ya.